Hi friends, this is Chris with Josephine's Designs. I am back with this gorgeous April DEK planner kit, and I don't even know how in the world I missed this in April, but I did. And maybe because when I looked at it, I saw this lavender and I thought I would save it. And I'm probably going to save bits and pieces of this for my parents' projects that I've got coming up for their just some memory keeping journals I'm gonna be making for myself, my sister, and my brother. And my parents went to TCU, so everything purple and white is always a big deal. So, all right, so I'm back in my Aurora Estelle gorgeous planner. It is my one I use for work, Josephine's Design, the whole thing. So, I almost to the at the point where I'm just thinking, do I even keep a work planner? But because we're going through tax season, if you don't know. And really and truthfully, my work is kind of done outside of the delivery of everything. Whether we mail it or we actually deliver it, which I prefer to mail it. But our postal system is hurting right now. And I'm not sure what we can do as a country. We've got to do something because I don't know about y'all, but I'm driving an hour away one way to deliver things because our postal system is struggling so. So it's not fair to the postal workers at all. It's just not. That's my little rant. But it's not fair to us as consumers either. And I even contemplated sending certain things out, either UPS, FedEx. FedEx is taking a long time, I've noticed right now. Oops, let me make sure I get in the video here. Sorry. There we go. All right. Sorry, we've had all kinds of chaos going on here, and I'll tell you more about that in a minute. But I just really, and I'm going to throw some of my extra freebie stickers that came with my kit. So if you haven't noticed, I get these stickers because I receive them when I place an order. But I'm on the team. So I'm on the PR team and the design team. So when you order from me, below is a link and a discount code. If you put my name, KRIS, in the description or the comment box as you check out, you get freebies too. So see, it's a good thing. Anyways, we all love the freebies. And there's all kinds of freebies. I just grabbed these too. So anyways, but back to the regular channel here. I literally am just kind of like, wow, how is this kind of happening right now? But it is. It just really is. So there's not a whole lot we can do. We just have to kind of be patient. But I mean, I have seriously considered all kinds of options for my, for my different things that I have to mail and whatnot. We literally have clients that have said, I'll drive to you if that would help, and it's like, no, you don't pay us. Oh, whoops, I grabbed the wrong insert. I grabbed the monthly. That is hilarious. Does that tell you how preoccupied I am these days? Oh, gosh. Sorry, if you're not laughing with me, please do. It's okay. Life has just been crazy. Okay. Anyway, so we have clients that are willing to drive over. They are super sweet, and most of our clients are older, so I'm just like, absolutely not. No. We will work it out. And but they know we've had a rough, season, and just like a lot of people have. And anyway, so I'm always very touched. And it's amazing to me, the people who offer to drive over are the people who should least drive over. They're the ones that have their own medical issues, their own, they're aging or whatever, whatever's happening, family struggles, etc. Anyways, so I'm always very, very humbled when somebody is that selfless in the way they think. And I don't even know. I don't know what to say. We live in a time where people may not be selfless, and then there are people who are above and beyond in their kindness and their, I don't know, so, let's focus on the blessings. Let's just focus on the blessings, my friends. Last night, so here's why it's crazy here today. If you don't know, I really haven't videoed this week. I've had old videos in the vault, so I've been pulling those out. So we have had almost daily, no internet. I might have phone service, I might not. Phones will drop in the middle of phone calls, if I can even get a call out. So, which really makes our clients happy. But anyways, we have had flooding rain here in Central Texas, and it has we've had lots of rain, and on top of it, we're getting a barrage of rain. And on, daily now for it's going to be a week and a half by the time we're done. I keep deliberating. I think I'm going to go with this one, and I think I'm going to save that one because that would be a nice color to add to my parents. So anyway, sorry. I'm always thinking about my parents. What can I say? But, so anyways, we, last night had literally, we went out we woke up before the morning to another massive storm coming through. And I think it was 4 or 5. I mean, who knows at this point? It just feels like a blur. Anyways, and we heard this crash, and yeah, I heard it, but I thought it was thunder. And my husband said, "No, you heard it. It was the tree. It fell on the house." And I was like, "What?" And he goes, "I think we're fine." He said, "But we were," and I was like, "Well, I'm glad you didn't get up and go out in the middle of the night, because that's what he would do." I mean, my husband's the guy up on a roof at 50-mile-an-hour wind gusts. I mean, I'm just like, praise God he didn't go out. So anyways, but needless to say, we had that same tree threw things on the house and then threw it in the pasture over from the house. So lots and lots of limbs. We've already been out this morning. My husband and my daughter are going out now. And it's pulling that up. I'm going to stop. And that is mainly because it is so humid here. We never have this much humidity. I mean, you walk outside and within 10 minutes you're dripping wet. The only grace right now is it brought cool weather in with it. And but anyways, we went out this morning and we were just finding stuff everywhere. And then, which, if you think about it, the tree falling into the house and then going away out into the pasture says that there was some kind of movement. So then, when we were walking around and I was checking the gardens, I looked at, of all things, my little bucket. I found things like one plant completely perfect and that was weaker, and the one next to it completely knocked over with the pepper or whatever, the fruit on it. So we just replanted them. We picked them up, we staked some, we replanted some. Anyways, then my husband and I walked over to my little pot of my, or little bucket of, carrots. And all of a sudden I could see in it, my husband said, "I think we've had cyclonic wind." And sure enough, I looked down and I could see where this bucket was just blooming everywhere. And then all of a sudden there was half of it down with a twist. And I showed my husband, I said, "We did have cyclonic wind." And he said, "Why?" And I said, "Come here." So he looked at it and he goes, "Oh my goodness." And I said, "Yeah." I said, "That's why everything was all over in different directions on the property." So tons and tons and tons of limbs. The house is good. We are good. As far as we know, the house is good. I don't think he's been up on the roof yet. The pumps are holding the water away from the basement, which is such a praise, guys. My husband has developed all these pumps, and we were in the process of trying to get rain collection tanks. I don't know if he's going to go today. I hope he's going to go and get those set up so we could collect this water, because we won't have any more water all summer from here in Texas. It's feast or famine. And so anyways, and we need the water for our gardens, and we don't want to take off off our well, and it saves us money on the pump. So I told my husband, I said, this is a win-win. We found someone on Craigslist, and the people have been really nice working with us, because we were supposed to go Monday, and it has been crazy. Crazy. Yesterday afternoon, I was on the phone with a sweet friend, and all of a sudden the wind picked up. My husband was out in his office, and I was running out the door to get him inside the house because he was on a call. I didn't even notice. And why his phone even worked, I don't know. But it didn't for long. And and I was, trying to get out there. Everything was blowing, you feel like you're Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz. So, but all the critters are fine. Not a chick or a duckling with a feather ruffled, or a guinea, or all the different critters, or a goose. And I mean, everything is, it's amazing. That's how tornadoes work. When I was a little girl, we had a hurricane where I grew up in Corpus, and we lived across the street from a golf course, and literally the hurricane was high winds and rain and flooding and everything, of course. But the killer was the tornadoes that, here's our side of the house, here's across the street, the other houses in the golf course. And what it would do is it would come, the tornado came in, went out to the golf course, gained up speed, came back, hit one house, bounced off, gained up speed, came back, hit another. And so, like, our house was wiped. The neighbors was not, and thank goodness they were in their house, in the bathroom with the, mattress on them. The neighbor's house was hit. The roof was lifted off and put on top of their house while they were in it, which was, I'm sure, beyond frightening. And, but that's how, that's one of the big things besides the flooding with hurricanes are the tornadoes. And so I'd rather deal with hurricanes because, to get out of the way. Tornadoes, you're asleep in the middle of the night. And where our tornado horn is, they finally have one on our side of, on the outskirts of our side of the town. But when winds are that high and the rain is, and the winds, the noise is that noisy, you can't hear the horn. And especially when we're in the back of the house, you can't hear it. So anyways, we're just, it's all new here because we've never had all this. And so now it's kind of like, wow, this is really weird. So, well, we're good. We're good. I think I'm gonna keep these, and I think the rest I'm gonna save for my parents. I love this. So this kit is, I was even gonna use it through 2 or 3 different kits, but as I look at it, I love this kit. It is such a beautiful kit, and I'm just really going to use what I can use and then save the rest. So, because I was thinking I was gonna put it in 2 different planners, but I think I'm gonna put some in the journals. So if you guys want to see me when I make those journals, let me know. I'll be glad to share. It's taken me so many years to be able to even get to the point where I can swallow and say that out loud, So, because, you love your parents, you miss your parents, and I really miss mine. I think in this time, my sister and I talk all the time. We're so thankful that my parents did not go through this season in our history, but I really miss them. And for some of the things that we've had to deal with that have been so difficult, I think it would have been really good for me to have had them and their perspective. But I've been surprised at those who've stepped up and been just amazing support for me. And not to sound selfish or anything, just really humbled by that. And just so thankful that there are those that are so kind and selfless, that would care enough about me to say, hold on, why in the world aren't you calling me, and why aren't you telling me this is going on? And so, and it's, we all have things right now. We do. But let's focus on the blessings. That is my whole new thing right now. I was praying through a whole lot this morning, and I was thinking about that. And if you're not a Christian, I'm sorry. I'm a Christian. There's a lot of Christian content on this channel, so I'm just going to throw this in. I was praying about a lot this morning, and I just decided, happiness is a choice. My mom used to say that, and I agree with her. Unless you are medically unable to be happy, you have a chemical imbalance, you're in excruciating pain, whatever it is. But happiness is a choice. And I choose to see the glass as half full right now. So, which I always try to do that. It doesn't always work that way, but I try. So, my thing I walked away with from this morning's prayer time was focus on the blessings. Let's just focus on the blessings. There are so many blessings. I was talking to a friend of mine who's been battling cancer, and every time I talk to her, there is something major. Hold on. Sorry, they're just working right out there. Something major that's happened. Oh, my husband's getting on the roof. Can you hear that? That's the ladder. Be careful, please. Honey? I don't know if he can hear me. Anyways. But focusing on the blessings to me is such an important part of our day-to-day. And I know for many, it is so hard to do. When you are going through difficult times, I get it. It's so hard. It's so hard. But I really cannot say enough that we have got to focus on the blessings, because life is just stinking hard. You and I both know it. And, that's all there is to it. If you're a believer, you believe in heaven, there's going to come a day. It's not going to be hard. Praise God. But while we're here, it's just a process we're going through, and we're getting ready for those days. And I'm ready for it. But when we focus on the blessings too, we focus on the joys here. So I just put on my Instagram today, I decided that, you know what? We could walk around and be sad and upset like another storm. I can't believe this is happening. What in the world? My knees are killing me. They're worse than the rain. What do we do? No. So I came in and I said, oh, I have these gorgeous organic strawberries. I'm going to put some, organic turbinado cane sugar on them and masticate them. And which, if you don't know what that is, you're just making a syrupy sauce with the cut up strawberries. It does it itself. You do nothing special. And then I had bought this beautiful puff pastry and I had not used it. And I thought, what am I thinking? I could pull this out right now and make a wonderful, beautiful dessert. So if you go to my Instagram, you'll see that. And it's gorgeous. And I asked my family, I was like, because it's 3 layers and you layer it all up. And anyways, and I couldn't find the whipped cream. And I thought, well, I'll just put a little bit of, that turbinado sugar is that thick, grainy, gorgeous, pure cane sugar. And so I put it on top and I gave it to my family, my husband and my youngest daughter. And I said, so do you like it? And they were like, yeah. And I said, better than a Pop-Tart? And my daughter was like, well, I don't know about Pop-Tarts. totally college kid. And I asked my husband, I was like, should we do it again? He was like, oh yeah, again. And I was like, okay, tonight I have the other puff pastry. We're going to do peaches from the pasture. And so he was like, yeah, but when you get through those things in life, we just need to find joy. We need to find joy in the journey. And I was telling my daughter today that, I have really been going through a lot of struggles, and I'm just keeping it real, not complaining, just keeping it real. And recognizing where my joy comes from, and just praying through, how in the world do I, move forward? And as you can tell, I'm late on this. It's Wednesday. I'm just getting this done. Now, I have a list I've been keeping. It's just been a crazy week. It's been really crazy. And clients and tax work and, my private business and then our family and, oh my goodness, just on and on and on. So, which everybody has the same thing, right? So, and I had to make some decisions I didn't want to make. I just didn't want to make them, and it was really overwhelming me. It was, and I'm a good, I have no problem making decisions, but they were decisions that had become out of my hand, and I was frustrated by that. And, but once the decision was made and I made the phone call, I just can't tell you the peace. And a lot of it had to do with the person I was talking to, who was amazing. And I know that you'll probably hear this, my friend, because I know she watches videos. You will never know what that call meant to me. And I just have to say, sometimes when you just feel like you're like going and going and going and going and going, and it's not working, 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 stop. Just stop. Take a breath. Figure out what it is. I can't tell you how many times I hit refresh in the last 2 weeks on our internet, because I'm trying to find out from my husband, can we get back on? He's in the middle of conference calls. Nothing makes you look stupider at work than when you never have internet. So in our company, we are very dissatisfied with, and I'm just going to say it, T-Mobile. I told them I would tell them that I would speak the truth, and I am speaking the truth. I do not care for T-Mobile at all. It's either the tower's being revamped or upgraded, or it's a storm. Now, yes, we've had storms. The towers have been being upgraded for almost 6 months now. Yes. Yes, my friends. Yes. And we have no foreknowledge that they're going to be taking anything down. I work on the weekends. So does my husband. You got to be kidding me. So, we just weren't happy with it. So, it is just, something that we have to recognize. So, even though this has like cooking and stuff in it, I don't mean to be, so I'm going to save some of this for my mom because she was an amazing cook. But one of the things that's coming out of this is I'm doing lots and lots of things, fermenting, dehydrating, putting things up, baking. I'm not a baker, so this is really out of my wheelhouse. Just things I'm taking like literally, I walked over to a raised bed today, and I went down and I had been messing with a bunch of herbs, so my hands smelled like herbs because I always feel them and I smell to make sure what it is, and because we're having all these amazing things pop up from last year's garden everywhere in our garden. We have a whole pot of nothing but tomato plants from last year, basil from last year. Well, we have 2 or 3 of those. Anyways, and so, and we probably need to, my husband put like 4 tomato plants in one pot. And I was like, you can't do that. Well, we're going to see which makes it. And I'm like, they're all going to make it. They're all going to make it, right? So anyways, but, anyways, long story short, I pulled this out, and of course the ground is so wet. It just pulled right out. And then I smelled it and I said, that smells like, is that, because I had been touching lemon balm, and I said, I think this is lemon basil. Can you, my husband, I have a really heightened sense of smell. So I asked my husband, can you please smell that for me? Because I have lemon balm all over my hands. So I can't rub the leaves and then smell it. So he first he goes, no, there's nothing. And then he touched because I told him, I said, rub the leaves between your fingers and smell your fingers. And so he did, and he goes, oh my gosh, that's lemon. And I said, it's lemon basil. So we went over to a pot where one of my, I had planted okra and it didn't come up. And it might still. So I went ahead and I said, let's just put it in here. And if the okra comes up, great. If it doesn't, no big deal. Because all the other okra's up. So I'm kind of thinking it's not going to make it. So I was telling my husband we could get a pot of now lemon basil, because I don't think I've planted lemon basil this year. And so anyways, but it was just, it's the blessings as we go through all of this and all the things that I'm finding in the garden that are popping up, things that, flowers and leaves of flowers that we're eating now, and all these things that are so good for you, and they're just beautiful. They're just beautiful. I went out today, I had planted literal mustard seeds for my kitchen. My sister-in-law told me it'll keep feral cats away, and we have a problem with feral cats out here because we live in the country. People are horrible. They'll just, they dump their pets. Mainly cats. Our neighbor does not get their cat. They do not get their cats fixed. And so as a result, there's just constant kittens. And the problem is we have coyotes, and they're not taking care of them. So what's happening. And so we used to catch them all. We used to rehome them all. We just, yeah. So anyways, so I just decided, because I'm highly allergic to cats. Our son's highly allergic to cats. So I put out mustard seed plants and then spring lilies, because they'll come up on our porch. They'll get in our stuff on the porch, And sometimes my husband will have the habit, he'll take the kitchen trash out and set outside the front door. Guess what the cat will get into? Like that. So anyways, which I should plant some more of that up here. But anyways, so I've been planting purposefully certain things. Everything has a purpose that gets planted on the property. So anyways, but to find that kind of blessing today in the midst of coming out of this storm, just watching what's happening in the garden, finding applications in our home, whether it be rub your arms with, bee balm or lemon balm or whatever herbs, keeps the mosquitoes away. They're just endless things. You can eat them, you can dehydrate them, you can make tea out of them. We have lemon balm tea every night. I already went out. When I was out there this morning, I was picking some few little small things to add in. We had tons of radish greens, and I just picked tons of them for something for dinner tonight. Don't even know what we're going to have. but we're going to do something with it. And my husband was so funny. He fussed at me yesterday. He goes, you got to get out here and trim some of this Swiss chard. And I said, okay, okay. And then it poured rain. And so I didn't get to go get it trimmed. And he came out today and he goes, did you come out here and trim up this Swiss chard? And I said, no, remember it started pouring rain. And I'd already gone out once in the pouring rain to get Amazon left at the gate. And anyways, he goes, well, I guess God trimmed that plant. And so it was all gone. It would have been all blown out. And I guess it's feeding the birds, which is great. I mean, we have tons left. I mean, tons and tons and tons of greens. But it's just things like that, that when I see this kind of kit, it's what it reminds me of. And again, my mother was a fantastic cook. Oh, my husband loves, I'm going to save this because I love this. Kind of reminds me of the dessert we had today. It wasn't cheesecake, but it was something yummy. But my mom was a fantastic cook, and my husband, oh my gosh, he so loved my mom's food. He would just carry on and on and on. I mean, the first time I took him home, I don't know if I've ever told this story. I probably have, but I'll tell you, he was so cute. So my husband was in the military, and he was all ribs and muscles. I mean, he was skinny with big, huge muscles because he was a weightlifter. So, but I took him home to meet my family, and a lot of fun stories of that one particular trip, but I won't go there. One of the things, my mother was in heaven because my dad was a big barbecue guy, and so he made anywhere from 3 to 5 meats every time he barbecued. My mother made anywhere from 3 to 5 sides and always a salad on top of that. And then at least 1, maybe 2 different kinds of breads, and then desserts. I mean, oh gosh, at least 2. Every time we did a big meal like that. And so my husband was starving. And he went, at that time, we were just friends. And he went into the kitchen and he got 2 plates. And my mom, whenever we had a lot of people over, she would just pull out, fancy paper plates. And so he sat down with these, not just the small, but the humongous paper plates. He sat down with 2. He went and sat on the floor because he'd worked all night, and got off at 8 that morning. And then we were there, he was exhausted because it was a Friday. So he was trying to get his weekend back on track. And then he would, start his weird shift, his midnight shift, on Sunday. But, so he sat down with huge, 2, overly huge, not enough. 1 plate would be for my daughter and I in lunch the next day. I mean, we could never even eat all of that. He sat down with 2 of them, ate all that and went back. And my mother was like, I just love him. And I said, Mom, you can't like him because he eats. I said, I have lots of friends in college that I can bring home to you and they'll eat. And she's like, oh no, but I can tell what he likes. He's good. And I just remember thinking, okay. But so she loved to cook and he loved to eat, and he loved that. It was something very, it was just the 2 of them. You know what I mean? So, all right. So I'm going to do the honey the tea, because I definitely have been drinking my lemon balm tea, and it is so good, guys. And I was being really stingy with my lemon balm, which I don't know why. We have tons of it, and the more you use, the more it'll grow. If you don't know that, on a lot of herbs, if you use them, pick them, whatnot, they'll grow. And so you want to pick, you want to use. And anyways, but I made some lemon balm tea the other night, and I put in almost double the leaves in our French press. And my daughter took them up, put them in cups for me, and we were drinking it. And she goes, I said, do you like the tea tonight or today or whatever? And she goes, it's really good. And I said, I added extra leaves. And she goes, I can tell the color and the taste and the smell. The taste and the smell is amazing. And I said, I know, it really is. I admit it. It doesn't pay to be cheap, okay? So, but it was so good. Okay, I don't use these. These are functionals, and I'm saving this for my parents. And then I'm going to save this for my parents, and I'm going to definitely save this. Now, I wanted to use some of this. I'm going to save the rest of this for my parents. And I won't use the functionals. I think I'm going to save the rest. And I mean, I won't ever use this in my parents' stuff, but I'll use it in my journals. So, all right. And it all goes into like special projects bin in my sticker storage. So if you wonder, what the heck do you do with all that? That's what the heck I do with all that. Okay. So I'm going to put my weekend sticker. But anyways, it was it was such a sweet relationship. You know, my husband had a rough childhood, no doubt. And, but the thing that's been great is that my parents genuinely loved my husband, and my husband genuinely loved my parents. And I will never forget when my dad fell and broke his hip, and we finally got him out of ICU, and then we found, he was in a trauma unit, and just the whole thing, because he had a head injury when he fell. And I will never forget, I would drive the triangle. It was 1 hour to my dad in the hospital, 1 hour to my mom, 1 hour from my mom to home. And I was having to provide caregivers, and, it was an hour each way for me. So I was exhausted. I had lived in the ICU, in the trauma unit with my dad. And then all the while trying to take care of my mom and making sure people were, my mom could never be left unattended because of Alzheimer's. And anyways, but the amazing thing was, my dad, when he got to, because after he got through at the hospital, he had to go to rehab. And it was always very telling, and I always say this to people: you will really know who is there for your family when you go to the hospital. The people that show up are the people that are a big part of your life. And especially if they have to drive an hour. I mean, seriously, if they have to drive, 2 hours round trip, and I know. And so anyways, it was such a blessing, because my dad loved seeing people. He always loved talking. He loved, the whole thing. And so, but the really neat thing was, every day when I got my dad to rehab, and my husband, of course, would always come when we were in the hospital. He would come spend time. He would come home from work, because he worked in Austin at the time. And he would come home, and he would say, okay, I would say, could you come sit with Dad for like an hour or two so I could just drive home, get a shower. I'll just grab whatever food. It would be my one meal a day. My daughter would make me food. And then I would spend a little bit of time, my youngest daughter, and then I would just run out the door and go take care of my dad and stay the night with my dad, because my dad was very afraid to stay in the hospital alone. And we just have a habit in our family. My dad, my mom, and myself are very allergic to certain medications. Like, we will die if we get them. And, in the wee hours of the night, that's when they come. So I've never seen nurses so disobedient. And I hate to say it, if you're a nurse, please forgive me. But I have seen some of the most disobedient nurses in the middle of the night that don't agree with the doctors and literally do naughty things in the middle of the night and disobey the doctor's request or the family's request or whatnot. And I mean, it was so frustrating. I'm going to be honest. It was frustrating. I stayed with my mom, my dad, my grandmother, and, never left the hospital with some of them. And that's just how it was. And I just could not believe what people would do. But neither here nor there. That's what happened. Okay. Now these I'm putting on for Josephine's design. But I learned a lot. I really did. And I know that may sound weird to people, but I did. I learned so much staying in the hospitals. But so my dad would be like, when are you coming back? When are you coming back? That kind of thing. I'd be like, it's okay, because, my husband's coming. And he'd be like, oh, okay. Yeah, that's good. That's good. And, he wanted to be with the guy anyways. And so, so I will never forget then when we got him from the ICU, the trauma unit in the hospital and all that, out of there into rehab. I remember we would go every day and at least go visit every day, either my husband or I or both. And so every evening on the way home, it was a baseball, baseball playoffs. And so my dad was a huge baseball guy, huge baseball guy. And my husband would go sit for hours with my dad and watch the playoffs. And I would be like, I'd have to call my husband and say, you have to get up and go to work early in the morning. You got to come home now, and And I loved going. I wish I had pictures of them sitting together. I don't think I do at all. Of them sitting together watching those baseball playoffs. And I can't tell you how special a time that was. And then, I mean, there were times that like my husband would go and take care of my mom, and my mom had Alzheimer's, so she had to have like full on care, nothing pretty about it. My son helped. I mean, my daughter-in-law, God love my daughter-in-law. She worked for our family because when my dad passed away, we couldn't pay caregivers. And so my daughter-in-law, my youngest daughter, my son, my husband and I, our oldest daughter came a few times, but we were the ones there every single day taking care of my mom. And those kids were amazing. I mean, amazing. And, you know, and I was so tired and exhausted and had already been through so much. So when you get to that point, you're just overwhelmed. But I think now I wish I would have taken more pictures. You know, I'm a scrapbooker. I love to tell the stories. But one of the things that I think was the most beautiful thing was watching. I can still see my dad in his bed, in his very nice room with this very nice rehab, and because he broke his hip and he broke his shoulder. And I remember my husband sitting in the chair next to him, and I would stand on the side of the room because I would get to leave early when he did that. And them just sitting there smiling from ear to ear, talking baseball, talking statistics, talking basketball, talking life. And they're both CPAs, so they could talk work, they could talk, you know, and I can still see their sweet smiles being together, you know. I wish I had that picture. But no matter where we're at in life and what we're doing, it's the stories that we tell of our families. And it's the journey that we have to take the time to enjoy. And even in the storms of life, this is my thing today. We're going to focus on the blessings. And I do remember how painful, how frightening, how all that was with my parents. But I see their beautiful smiles. I remember my dad before he passed, and when my daughters walked in, and the ICU nurses had put a pretty pink blanket on him, which my dad was a, old Texas boy. There's no way he's going to wear pink. But, anyways, he's sitting there with this beautiful pink blanket on, and his cheeks are rosy. And it was one of the last few times that he was awake. And I remember when those girls walked in, he had the sweetest smile on his face, and I got that picture. My friends. And he did not smile at all until those two girls walked in. He loved our children. Those are the precious moments in our lives. So when we have these storms come and we find cyclonic turns in the grass and in the trees outside our house the next day after a frightening storm, the blessings, we went out and found extra plants. We found things that had been uprooted that we could put back in, and they're going to be fine. And not a chick or a ducky was hurt. Not a building was damaged that I know of. My husband was just up on the roof, but which I think if it were damaged, he'd be coming in through the front door. So we look at this time and we just think, wow. But we made it through. And we celebrated with dessert. So go to my Instagram. You'll see that dessert. And that's it. That's all I'm going to do here. I think it's beautiful. I think it's functional. I think it makes me happy. So let me explain my thought process. So pretty. Next week's list to-dos. Daily to-dos. So if I called when I spoke to clients yesterday, I don't think I spoke to one because we kept having problems with phones. Or no, today's today. Pardon me. That was yesterday. Okay, so spoke to client. We did on Sunday. That's what it was. Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. I don't think we did anything yesterday. Sorry, sniffles. Today, nada. We're back to crazy internet, phones, the whole thing. But this is my Josephine's design. I worked yesterday, today, tomorrow. That's there. Extra space to write. Pretty beautiful things that remind me of beautiful things this week. Wonderful tea. Lovely dessert today. I'm making bread tomorrow if we don't have so much humidity in the air. just something pretty. This is my major outline of major things each day, wanting to make sure I have focuses each day. Love her. She's beautiful. Using up my red hair. I'm getting ready to go back to brunette, I think. Um, it's hard. I even asked my husband, do you want me to be red or brunette? And he's like, I don't care. Whatever you want. So I was like, okay. I've enjoyed the red. I really have. But if I did it, I'd want to pay for a salon where they could, put in high and low lights and all that. You know how that goes. So, and I have, as I've aged, my hair's gotten darker, which makes sense because my dad, had Cherokee heritage. And so, anyways, I have darker hair. And so we'll see. We'll see. We'll see. We'll see. So, and then my beautiful weekend. And of course, this is where it's going to get busy. It's going to get crazy busy right in here because number one, we have clients in one town that expect everything by end of week. I'm going to have to notify them and let them know. We've been without internet. We've been through all kinds of craziness. So, flooding, etc. But, we just had nonstop issues. So I've got to get over there. And then the weekend we'll work on the rest of the returns. And God willing, we'll be through soon. But anyways, it's just been... So the national deadline was Monday. Texas got an extra month through June 15th. Our clients are predominantly older. Most of them can't stand that they don't have their returns already. And we're emailing them out. We have one that is like, I want it in my hand. I want it in my hand. So, but he's in the town with all the other clients. So he's waiting. Kind of, I don't know. We'll see. But he's probably going to be by the end of the week, he's going to be chomping at the bit. So anyways, but this is what it looks like for my work. And I'm really happy with this. I think it's beautiful. I do want to come back and put in some of these gorgeous things real quick before I forget. So a lot of these are functional. They're not really what I would use, but I am going to put this down because I'm doing videos of planners today. And if I had another one, I'd put one probably Thursday because I'm going to try to video ahead. Plants is going to definitely go down here because today was the day of crazy weather. Plants, that's kind of crooked, but let me see if I can fix it. If I can't, I'm going to be okay with it. No, I got it. Okay. So, anyways, it is been an interesting day, but we are focusing on the blessings, and I think that is the best part. I will be making us pizza, which will come as a result of making breads on Friday. So I'm just going to put that there to remind myself when I look at this, like, what are we going to eat? I don't know. That's what we're going to eat. Okay, I'm going to put the paper clip here for my videos here on Thursday because that'll be for planners. And, ooh, that's another plant. So, and our gardens are just beautiful. This weekend we will finish, I think, putting in, we have 2 more beds, 2 more large raised beds to put in, 4 more smaller raised beds to put in. Hopefully our soil will be dried out, but we are supposed to get rain all the time. It's crazy what is predicted for us. I mean, it is crazy. So, okay. So if you don't know, today is Hump Day Happy Meal at DEK. So on Hump Day Happy Day, our dear sweet owner of dekdesigns.com is named Dawn for the D, and she offers a free with purchase kit. Guys, go look at my Instagram. So with all this rain, she didn't know, she created these gorgeous rainbow kit with beautiful foiling, and today's song that she put with it is my all-time favorite. It's the gentleman, I believe he's from Hawaii, Polynesian, of Over the Rainbow, and that is the music with one of the posts. Guys, I was literally heard that music. I saw the kit yesterday and I was thinking of that music, and then the music came in this morning with all my stuff to share with y'all, and then you think about what's happened here. Oh my goodness, I was dancing a jig and singing that song and enjoying the journey. So go take a look at that. And the kit is a full kit, fully foiled, gorgeous kit, free with a $19 minimum purchase. I also include a discount code on Instagram and here, and it's a discount on everything not on special or the subscription boxes or kits. So, but seriously, go enjoy that music. It just, I was seriously just, and my husband and daughter always laugh at me because I have such bad knees, but, you know, I can get there. I can get there. So it was just beautiful music, beautiful timing. God's timing's perfect. So, all right, friends, I hope you enjoyed this. I've just been a chatty Cathy, but, there's joy in our journey. And we've got to find that joy. And when we find things like this that evoke memories and just joy, and sometimes sadness, because you miss people. It can be sad. It's okay. Be the storyteller of your life, and you can use these kits for your planners, or you can use these kits for your journals. Why not? Put them in your journals. Use them for, how beautiful would this be in your journal or in your memory album, your scrapbooking, any of that. There is in your Bible journaling. From my sweet Bible journaler friends, this stuff is great. You can even use these freebies, all of that. It's gorgeous. So find joy in your journey. Take the blessings that are in front of you and turn them into something beautiful that you can give somebody else. So for me today, I made a strawberry puff pastry, and I was able to give it to my family because there was joy in our journey no matter what today. And they're out there. We've been out there picking up limbs, cleaning up debris. There are leaves everywhere. Literally plants damaged, but there's joy in the journey. We found the other plants today. So, all right. And nobody was hurt. Nobody was hurt in the filming of this of this storm. So it was that's amazing. Because we have chicks and ducklings and yeah. So they're so fragile, So anyways, but when speaking of which, I probably should check on my sister-in-law because she's pregnant and get ready to pop pretty soon. So better make sure that she hasn't gone into labor. But I figured I would have gotten a text if she had. All right, friends, I pray that your day is blessed, creative, and lovely. Like, subscribe, do all that good stuff. Leave a comment. Tell me what has been your greatest blessing because it was a struggle and it was a struggle that was overcome with blessing. And make sure it's something you want to share because if it's too personal, I don't put those out. So, you guys know that. But, and there's many of you I know. There are friends that have cancer in this channel. There are friends that, oh gosh, the list is long with everybody, people losing family members, all kinds of stuff. So, that's why we want to focus on the good that is happening in your life right now and put that below because that will encourage everybody else. Good stories, memory keeping stories, sharing with others the joys in your journey that's the blessing for everybody else. Okay, friends, I'm gonna let you go. Love you guys. Pray you guys are safe. Be safe. Turn around, don't drown. If you're in Central Texas, be safe and just know that you are loved. Okay, friends, I'll be talking to you soon. Love y'all. Bye-bye.